Welcome. Nice to see you here on this cool summer, almost summer day. Welcome to the first day of June, yes? Hey, it's June. So welcome to Music at Noon, Sacramento, California. It is the first day of June 2022, and we're going to India today. Want to come along? You have no choice, you're here. Okay, so we are going to take an adventure into a new way of organizing musical ideas. And she's trying. And so we're going to, they're going to talk to you about Indian music, Indian classical music. And who's they? We have Steve Oda on the sarod. We have Michael Lewis on the tabla. We have Pushpa Oda on the tanpura. Those are not normal instruments that you see every day, so they'll talk about them a little bit and explain what they're playing. And if you look at your program side, I know we have a little feedback here, but I don't have a tech today. I am it. So if you look at your program, you'll see that this concert doesn't have a list of songs or pieces that you would normally see, but it does indicate that you will hear a raga to open up, and to close the show we have another raga. In between we have questions and answers, and you can put your hands up when Steve asks you to do so, and then I will come around with the microphone and we can all hear the question, and Steve has his own answer, microphone for answers. But the raga itself is not in the European tradition, so there is no real connection that we have in our experience to what a raga is. And I was given permission to go to Wikipedia and just read this to you, and then Steve will elaborate or improvise on these definitions. A raga is a melodic framework for improvisation akin to a melodic mode in Indian classical music. The raga is a unique and central feature of the classical Indian music tradition, and as a result has no direct translation to concepts in classical European music. And so that's all I will say at this point. And the pieces are longer than you might think. They might be 15 or 20 minutes long. So they can be very meditative, and they can be descriptive. And you can see there's a description of the first piece. And maybe Steve will talk to you about that a little bit. But he has described it as a raga, which is dedicated to the beautiful spring season and particularly suited to the noon hour for performance. So please give our instrumentalists a fine, warm welcome.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for coming here today. It's a real pleasure to be able to perform live again for the first time in several years. And as Brad was suggesting, we are going to have a raga to begin the performance, and the raga will last maybe 20 minutes or so. And I'd like to thank Brad for the invitation to come here and perform once again, this is, I think, our fourth or fifth time to have the joy of performing in this beautiful space for wonderful people. And Music at Noon is a great, great series. So thank you, Brad. And thank you to Michael Lewis, who will be accompanying me on the drums called the tabla, and to my wife, who will be playing the essential instrument called the tanpura, which helps us keep safe as we play our music. You'll understand a little more later when perhaps we have some question and answers. Now, Indian classical music, there may be something in the order of 90,000 ragas, so there's a lot to choose from. And the ragas are categorized in various ways for the season, in other words, the springtime season, summer, fall, winter, rainy season, and also for the feelings that are trying to be conveyed in the music: joy, peace, sadness, compassion, etc. So today we will start with a raga for the noon, as Brad suggested. It's called Gaur Sarang, and it's for the noon hour, and its feelings are peace and joy, and according to my teacher, should bring a cooling effect when you hear it. So I'll play a short little introduction, like a prayer, like a dedication, and then I'll be joined on the tabla, and Pushpa, my wife, will be playing tanpura throughout. So the name of this raga is Gaur Sarang, a short little prayer to begin with, and then pieces with tabla. I hope you enjoy Gaur Sarang. Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind appreciation. I think the next on the agenda will be a brief question and answer period where we will talk a little bit about the instruments and about the music. And I will pause a little bit while Brad makes his way with the wireless microphone. And if you would like to ask any questions at all, please raise your hand so Brad can take the microphone to you.
Was that the prayer? Was that the prayer you were saying in the beginning?
The prayer.
That was the prayer. That was, excuse me. That was the prayer, or it's called alap.
Okay.
That the beginning part of it, where I was playing by myself without the drummer.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was wondering first if that was improvised, and second, if so much of the music is improvised, how can you categorize it according to, summer, fall, sad, happier?
Both good questions. Yes to the first question. Indian classical music is perhaps 90% improvised based upon a very fixed structure. So, while we have unlimited freedom to make our variations according to the melody, the notes of the raga, we have to stay within very strict rules. As far as the seasons and the moods of the raga are concerned, I have to defer to my teacher and the elders who kind of determined what notes and what patterns of notes should be ascribed to the different seasons. If they're given more time, I could perhaps give you some more examples of that. But good questions. Thank you.
Would it be possible to hear the tempura alone?
Sure.
The tambura you want lower?
No, to hear
alone.
it alone.
Oh,
By
alone.
itself.
The tanpura that my wife is playing is called the most important instrument sitting here today. My teacher said it's like having a headlight on your car at night. It keeps you safe. And it's a good way of characterizing it for us. It helps us hopefully keeps us in tune. And it's quite hard to play, by the way.
So that instrument is kind of like the piano in that it keeps you in where you need to be in tune.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I would say that instrument is like a piano sort of in that it keeps you in tune. It keeps
That's
you,
right.
Right.
That's right.
I have a question about your instrument. I see it has 8 strings. Does it have 8?
This has 25 strings.
25 strings.
25 strings. They're very fine strings, so they may be hard to see from where you are. But the 25 strings across this instrument, which is made from one piece of wood that's all hollowed out and seasoned for decades. So the 25 strings sit atop a bone bridge. The bone bridge sits atop a very thin goatskin parchment, kind of like a banjo in a way. And the 25 strings are divided 4 for melody, 6 for rhythm, and 15 smaller sympathetic strings that resonate according to the notes of the melody or the raga that is being played. So each time we change raga, we have to kind of retune.
Okay. Seems like you just played it from below. I didn't see you strum any strings up high.
Didn't strum any strings
She's
up
saying that she sees you strumming the strings lower and not the higher ones. Are you strumming all of them?
They're all being energized by the playing. Each of these, hopefully, if the instrument is in tune, and that's the major challenge with these instruments, to try to keep them in tune, to allow the resonance of the instrument to come forward. To continue on with my brief description, we use a coconut shell plectrum, pick, if you were, that we manufacture ourselves. And most importantly, this instrument has no frets. So we fret it by using the nails on our finger. So if I was to play a note with my fingertips, as on a guitar or a violin, it would sound okay. But if I play with my nail, so we get so many more slides and so many more nuances that aren't available otherwise. And since Indian classical music has 22 tones per octave compared to 12 tones in a Western scale, there are many more, there are notes in between the keys, if you were. So, well, another question? Oh.
How long have you played the tabla, and do you play other instruments? How long have you played the tabla?
Oh, I've been playing for about 50 years, 50.
50.
Do you play any other instruments?
No, I used to play a little guitar, but this has been my instrument for the last 50 years.
And where are all three of you residing? Is it Sacramento area or Bay Area?
Bay Area.
Bay Area.
Bay Area.
Bay Area, yeah.
They've come all the way from the
Sacramento.
Bay Area for you today. And
At Brad's invitation.
thank you. And are we talking about hundreds of years that these similar instruments have been played? Or are we talking thousands of years?
Yeah, they've evolved over the years. Originally, this instrument came from Afghanistan. One of the theories is it came from Afghanistan and evolved from the instrument in Afghanistan called the rabab. So it's been around as long as that.
Are we talking several thousand years?
No, several hundred years.
Several hundred. 1,500, 1,600, somewhere around there. Okay. Perspective, thank you. Any other questions before we move on to the second raga? Oh, we have another one. Where is that, please?
At the back.
Back, okay. Who?
Yes, how are the ragas transmitted? How do you learn a raga?
Some of it, that's a very good question. It's many years, and ideally you have a teacher who's helping you understand what goes where and when it goes there. There's no secret other than a lot of practice and We both fell in love with this music many, many years ago, 50 years ago, I guess, total. So it takes quite a while, and you have to be kind of crazy to want to learn this, but it's a very beautiful art form, very beautiful classical music.
One more question from Jerry.
So is anything written down?
Yes, in most of the music is transmitted from teacher to pupil, but it's not really written down as such. Maybe a sketch of the outline of how a raga will go is formed. But some of the nuances can only be highlighted through oral transmission. I don't know if that answers your question. It's kind of it's a good question, but it's difficult to answer. But having said that, if there's anybody in the audience that would like to take us home with them, we have some recordings at the front here that will be available after we conclude our little performance.
And as we move into the final raga, I'm going to ask a question that may not be answerable, and that is, will we be able to tell a difference between raga number 1 and raga number 2?
I hope so. They're different, certainly, and what I'll do is I'll play the scale from raga number 1, and then I'll play the scale from raga number 2, and that should illustrate the difference. We have to do a little retuning. Thank you. Pardon for the retuning of the instrument. As I mentioned before, all these little strings kind of have to be retuned according to the melody that we're about to play. So the first raga was called Gaur Sarang, and the scale of that raga goes like this. That's the ascending, and then now the descending. So that's the first piece we played. Now the second piece, which is called Coffee, like cup of coffee. We played the first raga in a time signature called Tintal, which is a 16-beat rhythm in the Indian classical music, and we played a slow and fast version of that. Now, for the second item, we will start with a rhythm of 6 beats called Dadra, 6-beat rhythm cycle. Again, Rag Kafi in Dadra. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind appreciation. We appreciate that.
Thank you for the music and the education, the music education. I heard the mood or mode difference from my musical understanding, and there was a sadder tone to the second one. There was more of a minor feel to it. Not that that meant to be sad, but in my experience, that's how I interpreted it. Did you hear the difference? They heard it too, so it was a very useful comparison. Thank you.
A little sadness, yeah. The first one was more happy.
Yes.
Happy melody. The second one was little sadness was there.
So the European tradition has a very similar connection to our humanity, doesn't it? It's about how you feel inside and what sound does to your spirit. So that's a universal.
Very well put.
Very universal, isn't it? Well, thank you for coming to us from the Bay Area yet again, after 5, 6, or 7 times, over probably the last 15 years at least. Steve Oda on the Sarod. Raise your hand, Steve. There he is. Pushpa Oda on Tanpura. And Michael Lewis on the tabla. Thank you for your excellent questions. It was an interesting concert. We learned. Next week, since we have been in India today, we've got to give equal time to the world. So we have world music next week. Yes, we'll get back to European music pretty soon, but we have 52 weeks in a year. So we will have our amazing Catherine Mandela, who plays 50 or 100 instruments. It's unimaginable. She will play probably 20 of them when she comes next week, and she'll bring a guitarist with her and a percussion person with her next week. We hope to see you then. Thanks for being here, and have a great week.
Sure. Thank you. I want to take a picture. Picture.
How much is the seat?
Thank you. You want to see the instrument?
Okay, this is a CD, isn't it? So this drum is tuned to the tonic note. This is tuned to C. So I play with Steve in the background music. Same note as a tambora.
Thank you. Thank you.